walk.
We're not going to walking right now, and I don't think you meant that. There you go. Do you really want tea? Good morning. So this morning I decided to work kind of in the kitchen living room area because I'm just doing some stuff on my website, so I don't really have to have complete concentration or like silence or anything like I do a lot of times whenever I'm editing videos. But what I'm doing is, sorry, this is most likely really in the way. What I'm doing is I am putting a lot of my products on Gumroad, and then that way I can link back to those on my website. Because what I don't like about Etsy is, number one, they charge a lot more fees, right? So I make less profit, and like this is how I live. So the more profit, the better. The other thing I don't love about Etsy is they have certain stipulations about what you can and can't say. So like, for example, I can't sell my ADA law cards, even though it is just something that is copied from the ADA. I didn't make this stuff up. It's not like I'm giving you permission to have a service dog by telling you the laws. But Etsy looks at that like it's medical advice, and so I can't sell that. So I can sell it on Gumroad though, because it's not medical advice anyway. It's something that you would show if you have a service dog to an establishment if they're giving you trouble. For example, if somebody's telling you like that you have to have ID for your service dog, or someone's telling you, asking you invasive questions, these are cards meant for you to either show them on your phone, or you can actually print them out too and hand them to them. And it has the .gov website, and it also has a little QR code for people who want to scan it. Maybe if you're showing them on your phone, they can scan it and go straight to the .gov website to that section, so it takes them, it backs up what you're saying, right? Which is the legitimate law. And I feel like it's such a valuable thing to have too, because if you have a service dog, you understand a lot of times it's like a circus anyway. If there are people trying to stop you, it kind of becomes a whole thing. And then also for myself, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, I get really overwhelmed in those situations, and it's hard for me to even remember what the law is. Like, I know the law, but if you catch me off guard and if you're trying to stop me from going into somewhere, I'm likely to forget even what you're allowed to ask, what you're not allowed to ask. I'm likely to forget a lot of things just because I would be so overwhelmed at that time. So anyway, I think these are important. So I have these on here, but then I'm also putting my other, like my planners and books and stuff on here too. And then I'm linking that to my website, and that way hopefully I can drive traffic here instead of to Etsy, because that's kind of been a goal for a while, but honestly I've really slacked on it. So that's what I'm doing this morning. And Therapy sleeping right over there while I do all of this. We've actually been up for a while. It's like 12:30 in the afternoon now, but we've been up since maybe like 7:30 or so. So I've already been working and doing a lot. We stretched this morning. We went on a little safari. Basically just kind of did a little house stuff. Fairby had a lick mat. I feel like that was kind of it. Oh, we added a new button. I added a stretch button for Fairby because that's something that we do. What did we just add? What did we add, dude? Look. What word did we just add?
Stretch.
Yes, we added stretch.
Stretch.
Yeah. It would be really good for Fairby to have a way to say that, because it'll make me stretch. Because if I hear her say it, then I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, stretch, and I'll do it. And then of course I'll help her stretch as well. But I figured that would be a fun button for us to have. Oh my gosh, there's like a little fly. I feel like I've basically just been working and doing house stuff lately. I mopped and vacuumed yesterday. Okay, so this little mop thing that I have, I'll link what I have, but basically, okay, so the mop itself is really good, but they have little packets that you put in here. And it's like a cleaner, but it's like a dishwash packet, if that makes sense. And it's amazing. And so it's like a cleaner all in one. So I don't know. I really like it. It makes it super easy. Basically, it's just been a busy time for like house stuff because I took some time off I took more time off than I meant to because I already was having what I call a FNSD flare-up, which I don't really know that that's what it is. I've not been diagnosed with that, but I believe that's what it is. Whenever I get overwhelmed, a lot of times the left side of my body, like my hand, pretty much in my arm, will have a little bit of a delay. And I've heard that that can be caused from FNDS, and that would make sense considering a lot of times that's a comorbidity with PTSD. And so I didn't start noticing these things until after I wasn't diagnosed with PTSD whenever I started noticing these things, but looking back, I definitely already had PTSD, if that makes sense, and I started having these symptoms. So all of that to say, I had taken a few days off to try to let my body recover because obviously if I keep going, I'm gonna get worse. And if there's already a delay, we don't want me to shut down more. So I'd taken a few days off for that. And then about the time that I started feeling like, oh, I'm feeling okay, there was a really big upsetting event that happened near me in my same county. Basically, there was a really upsetting thing that happened that just kind of took me back to a really bad place. And I spent about a day and a half, 2 days-ish, just in a really bad place of flashbacks, which for me, that's the longest time that I've stayed in a flashback. I usually will have that happen and then I'll kind of get okay, like maybe in a few hours, but this took me down for well over 24 hours. So then I was just in a mess and then I needed time to recover from that. So I basically ended up taking about 5 days off accidentally. And then of course, whenever you do that, everything else still piles up, right? The house is still needing to be cleaned, dishes are still need to be done, work is still need to be done. So it really wasn't ideal, but that's okay. I'm okay now and I'm just hustling and working and trying to get everything done. But making coffee, because coffee is important. I'm doing laundry up here, so sorry it's loud, but I wanted to show you. I sat my little jellyfish that I painted up here. I don't have a frame, and honestly, I don't really care if I have one. It's not that important. So I just sat it right there, and I think it's cute. And then I put that guy up there. Once again, no frame. No frame, no problem. But it all kind of goes with my office because I have stuff like, you know, kind of like this beachy theme stuff going on. I have little beachy stuff. I really like this little guy. He's so cute. And these little books are boxes. Ooh, actually, hold on. I dyed yarn and some of my yarn is in here. Back from whenever I was a yarn dyer. So all of this was minis and samples and stuff that I dyed. So, bunch of stuff that I haven't ever used. So, very fun for one day. For dinner, I'm making mac and cheese, but then I'm gonna put spinach, these little chicken things in it, and then some of these cherry tomatoes. These are almost out of season, so they're kind of almost really bland. So I'm gonna heat them up and cook them and see if I can maybe, you know, make them have a little bit more flavor. Garlic and like probably just salt, honestly, on these. Maybe help them out a little bit. And then possibly hot sauce on everything, but we'll see. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I hope you have an awesome week and we'll see you soon. Bye.